Hi guys, and welcome to Angling For You, and today you're joining me at the fantastic Aston Park fisheries on Bill's Pond. Now, what we're going to do today is have a look at my setup. Now, I obviously have swap and change and move things around. I looked at the videos, it's probably about 2019 that I've done one of these my setup videos in regards to what actual gear I now own. And some of it may be surprising to some and maybe not so surprising to others, some of the gear that I've got. Let's have a whiz round. We'll not make it the lengthiest process in the world, but I know everybody does like to see day in day out what we like to use and what we use. So we'll start off with the main stuff, the rods and poles first, and then we'll move on to luggage and box. Right guys, so most of you know around that fish that watch the videos, the pole I've got, I'll get one section out for you, is the XZ65 from Midi. Along with this, I've got the M2 and the M1. The M2 and the M1 are testing, so they will go to a subscriber or to somebody on the group when we open a competition. So just this XZ65 is pretty much the only Midi thing at the moment that I own, which may surprise a few of you that think that majority of my gear is Midi. So I have the XZ65, which is an absolutely amazing bit of kit, and so love using it. It's brilliant. Like I say, I've got the Midi M2 and M1, which are margin poles, which I'm testing, and they'll be given away later this year. So moving on from that, I've got a Daiwa End Zone rod bag case. It's a two rod case, but you can fit 3 rods in, which I've got. And in this, I'm not going to rag them completely out, but what I've got in there is a Daiwa End Zone said 11 to 12 footer, which is there with a Daiwa Ninja reel, and that's a 10 to 11 footer because you can put a little mini extension which extends it to that 11 foot. So that's my rod, one of my rods. The other rods that I've got on the other side here is a MAP Parabolic Black edition, and I've also got the MAP Parabolic Black edition reel, and I've also got as my pellet waggler a Garbolino pellet waggler, a Garbolino carp is my pellet waggler. So all my rods, MAP, Daiwa and Garbolino. So let's have a look at the rest of the gear and see what we've got. Right guys, let's talk rollers and landing handles now. The review for this might not have come out already, but if it has, you'll already know. If you don't, this is the new Daiwa Tournament landing net handle. This is my landing net handle of choice. It is a 4-meter one. This is obviously in its 3 meters, and at the moment I've got a fine mesh matrix net. Now, nets wise, I will go on to when we get to that, and you can see that it's nestled on a standard matrix roller. I have one standard matrix roller, and then I have 2 of the twin rollers, and the twin rollers, as you would imagine, get used for the pole, and the single gets used for the landing net handle. I always like to make sure that it's safe. Like today, there's gravel underfoot, and I don't want anything chipping or scratching across. That's just the way I do it. If you're not bothered, then you're not bothered, but that's the way I do it. Let's move on to the box and see what we've got there. So again guys, a little surprise if I haven't put up the review yet, the new box. So I have got an XR36 competition, which is the H frame. Why have I changed from an S36? Nothing against the box, you know what I'm like. 6, 7, 8 months. I've had that 8 months. I've got it in end of December. I always look to try and turn things over. It is for sale if anybody wants to have a look at it. But I've got this. Bought that at Fishing Tackle and Bait, about 500 quid. So they're not cheap, but a lovely piece of equipment, and fits very well with the branding that I like. The Matrix brand for seats. I'm used to it. I like the layout of it, and that's why I've gone for this. It's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit more compact. We'll go into it on the review, obviously with not having the under trays, but again on the review we'll go through that. So you can see one of the attachments there with the Matrix Pro pole sock. Again, all my attachments are Matrix 3D. you can see over on the other side. In fact, what we'll do is we'll flip over to the other side. We'll have a little look from a different angle, and then we'll go and look at the luggage and the attachments, and that make it a little bit easier. Right guys, so from this other angle you can see we've got the Feederland large tray. There's my back tray, always have that there. It's great. I put all my caps in there, my bit of my towel, extra bait, my phone always goes behind me, my drinks usually go behind me. It's just a great tray with that lip on it, really secure. And then I have the Matrix large 3D tray, just extendable. It's I mean, the fixed trays are great. I just really like this. It's really sturdy on those 3 points. You don't even need the legs on really, but if you're going to add attachments to it, it helps. I've got the screw that you can see there is for the old GoPro for the close-up footage, and you can see that I've got one of the little sort of elbow style attachments, I would say, with a little hook on it, and that gives me the landing net handle, keeps it completely right next to my hand, really easy to pick up, and just that's perfect for me of how I fish. Obviously a Matrix towel, and what we'll do after that, I think that's pretty much most of what's there. I'll flash you around to my drawer, and I'll very briefly go through what's in the drawer, and then we'll have a look at the luggage and attachments on the other side. Right boys, so sat on the box I have my side tray that pulls out my drawer. Now in this drawer, to be honest, majority of it is Preston. Preston lines. I've got a little bit of Guru line there, and then all my shots are Pro-Gen, and some of my lines are Pro-Gen. All my floats are a mixture of my feeders and my bombs are a mixture of Guru and Preston inline ones. There's a couple of MIDI tower pots, a couple of Preston pots. There's a couple of MIDI shotgun feeders in there as well. Preston. If you can pick it up. Oh, there we go. Preston plummets, and I've also got a Garbolino plummet. I've got Matrix Power Micron for my bigger line, for my pace fishing. Most of my hooks are Preston, most of my bands are Preston. There's a selection of Guru stuff, hooks in there, QM1s in there, but apart from that, a lot of this terminal tackle is Preston, and to be honest, I get on well with that, and it's like anything in it, you stick to what you stick with. In regards to rigs, obviously you know that all my pole floats are Pro-Gen floats. That's what I use on a day-to-day basis. They're all in the bottom part. I'm not going to open that because you can go on a review and have a look at that and see. So yeah, really decent new setup, and yeah, excited to use it. So let's go and have a look at the luggage and the attachments. Right guys, nothing to surprise you over here. Matrix all over. Now obviously I've had this probably coming up to, well, it'll be 8 months, around 8 months, and I'm in no rush to get rid of it all. It's all suits the purpose that I want, fits everything that I want in, and yeah, it's great. We'll start with this little bit here. That's a Preston toolbar, and that's what I use for attaching my keep nets, which are not with me. So on that I have 3 Matrix keep nets, and they're all carp ones in the lime green, and they come in, and I've got the big bag, the 3 bag, so it's the larger bag of this. So it's the larger version of that, which fits 3 nets in, with the dipper net bag in there as well. So that's at home. So then we might as well move on to this. This is obviously my other net bag. This is the single one. I ain't got a dipper net in there. I just lift them all out, and I've got a selection of nets in here. And if you look on my landing nets and what they use for video, then you'll see. But there's one MIDI, there's a Guru F1 net, a carp frenzy net, and then 1, 2 over there, 3 different Matrix nets. One's a carp, one's a silverfish, one's a fine mesh, and then I've got a Speedex Drennan net as well, and they just cover all the types of fishing that I'm going to do, whether they're big fish, if it's a natural venue, whether I'm fishing for F1s, small carp, they're all relevant to that. Today I've got my little fine mesh on because I'm fishing for F1s, and a lot of the times the little fins can get stuck in wider meshing. So before I go into that one, actually, I've got this one. You might not have seen this, but this is my camera bag. So I have got all of my camera equipment, GoPros, that all sits in there, and the reason I have it in that is because it is completely waterproof. I was going to buy a bag to put all my camera stuff in one, so I thought it makes total sense to just get a fishing one that's an EVA and completely waterproof for around the same price. So that's what I did, and that's what we got there. So obviously this is the packet for one of the pole rollers. The other two big ones sit in this big bag here, which, to be honest, when I first got it I thought it's never going to fit everything in, but my god, it's one of the best purchases luggage wise I've ever got, and it has loads of space, lifts up like that. I've got two spare larger pole socks in there. I've got the Matrix bait volley, I've got the Matrix side attacher for your rig, your top kits. In this one we have the Matrix feeder rest, along with the other attachment for the feeder rest and a pole hook on there. That's the top of the old feeder rest. The best thing is it's just a push in and push out with the 3D attachments. That's why we've got it all. Another double roller, like I said, and another little mini spray bar. Just never know when you get the attachments. And then this is my other camera tripod for the GoPro. So that's pretty much everything that's in there. This bag itself, we've got bait in it really. There's a spare towel, there's, you know, some rigs here, some tracers, some uplink, should I say. We're not pike fishing. So that goes in there, and that's all that's in there. There's a couple of flavoured liquids and my suntan cream, which we definitely don't need today. And then lifting this top part up, in here is a mixture of ground baits. There's some MIDI, there's some Lindon pellets, there's some mixing bowls, some spray testing stuff that we're doing, cupping kit attachments, and then most of my bait buckets, bait tubs are all Drennan, to be honest. And I've got a Preston scooper for water, and then, as you've seen before, I'm not going to get my base one out, but I've got this with all my hookers, wafters and all that, and I've got the big pellet one at the bottom, which is a Matrix 1 EVA, which I put all my pellets and stuff in. So really, I don't know if you'll able to see it off camera. I'll try and reach it. I've got this, and then I've got a riddle and a bucket in the car, which is all Preston, and yeah, that's pretty much it. All that is sort of the gear that you have on a day-to-day basis that's not going into what we're using for predator or river fishing, which is all Drennan stuff really for that. So yeah, so majority, as you can see, probably 90% it is Matrix. As you all know, I went through a big stage where I changed all my Preston stuff, and I want to try out the Matrix stuff, and you know, that's what I've done. So like I say, majority is Matrix. There's a bit of Daiwa there with the landing handles and the rods, and a bit of map, and a bit of Garbolino, and then MIDI just for my pole. So nice mix of stuff, and like I say, we've been independent. I like to choose what I like and utilise loads of different brands that suit what I like to fish with. Like I say, my terminal tackle still majority is Preston, with a little Pro-Gen and stuff through there as well. I like to fish with what I like to fish with, and I enjoy testing other products from people, and you know, it's really good. I've got a company called Teddy Carter Baits, which is sending me some bait. In fact, they've sent me today. My wife's just rung me and told me her parcels arrived with some heavy stuff in it, so that's there ready to test. So we've got some of that different bait to try as well from someone. So it's all about us bringing you these independent reviews, and I thought showing you all my gear, it shows you how independent we are, because I've got an eclectic mix of stuff. So if you want to join us on a playlist and see a lot of the stuff that we do test, then join us on the YouTube playlists under reviews and unboxings, and if it's polls you want to go on the polls and unboxings. We're going to get on and fish at Aston Park. We've got another video coming out which will probably be up before this, where we've looked through the shop, fantastic shop, and through the cafe and the venue, and we're on Bill's Pond today, and I'm desperate to get out fishing, so I'm going to stop waffling. And if you want to join us on the Facebook group Angling For You, and if you want to join us on the Instagram for pictures angling_for_you, if you could like, share and subscribe. Until the next one, guys, thank you very much for watching. Tight lines. Right boys, we've put this little bit of extra on as a little bit of comedy value. I get asked so many times, how do you get your gear in a mini? So it's not a mini, it's a mini club for a start. So firstly the box goes in first, that has to go in before anything else, and it is strategic. Then the feed land tray goes underneath there. Then it has to be this kit bag next. That just sits perfectly in that gap there. So you've got a nice flat, and then it's onto this one and this one, and we go around the sides. Have to open the old door first. So you have to have the seat forward and up straight. That fits there. If my keep nets are there, my keep net bag goes in there as well. Then on with the side tray. Then it's this bag. I always hold it by these straps because it's easy to get into the car. That goes onto there like that. Then it's the camera bag and the spare roller. Roller goes down the back there like that. Camera bag sits on top like that. That door shuts. That leaves me with the bait bucket. So for the bait bucket, it sits on there so it doesn't whack anything. The handle goes around the leg like that. Normally where that is there, that's where my normal bag for me landing net handles goes, and my keep nets go to the other side normally, if you're fishing a match of course. Then it's in with a pole bag first, always the pole bag first, and that's quite a nice shape, sits quite square, so that nudges in there perfectly. And then the old rod bag, that turns upside down like that. Sits in like that. That's it, and then we take the old jacket off. So if I've been fishing and I've got anything grim on me or like that, jacket goes there. 1, 2, and then if you go around to the front, you can see I've still got plenty of space to drive. Still plenty of space to drive, and I can see my wing mirrors. Nice and easy. Masterclass. That's what that is, boys. That's a masterclass. So yeah. You've asked me so many times that I thought I'd do one, and there you go. That's how it's done.